All eyes, though, on Oliver Rowland. He's down in 10th place, last in this group at the moment. So Evans about to improve. He's on personal best in Sector 1, personal best in Sector 2. What's it going to be as he comes to the line? Can he make it through? No, he can't. Fails to improve and loses time as Natto goes to the top of the pile at the end of this session. But all eyes on reigning world champion Oliver Rowland. This is now or never time for him as he comes across the line. He can't do it. He's only P6. Oliver Rowland out of qualifying in Group A here in Miami. So delight for Tommaso Volpe with Natto making it through, but the sister car, the reigning world champion, Oliver Rowland, does not make it into the duels. Let's have a look at classifications from Group A, though, and work out exactly how it all went down. Natto, Cassidy, De Vries and Muller are going forwards. Evans, Rowland, Marti, Buemi, Mortara and De Grassi will go no further. Yeah, let's see what Verne can do then. He needs a strong result. He knows that car's got pace and performance. He saw his teammate Nick Cassidy progressing forwards from Group A a few minutes ago, but the lap time's not going to be here for Maximilian Günther as he's out of qualifying.
So you can keep pushing, you can keep pushing.
Joel Eriksson comes in.
Keep pushing.
So Eriksson comes into the pit lane at the end of this one, but he is going to be making his first appearance in the duels in Gen 3 then here. And again, exactly what we saw in Group A qualifying. No improvements right at the end of the checkered flag, including for Jean-Eric Verne, who is last of the classified runners at the end of that session. Group B classification then, Taylor Barnard quickest ahead of Antonio Felix da Costa. Joel Eriksson makes his first appearance in the duels for Envision Racing ahead of Felipe Drugovich. Time to get the first duel underway. Quarterfinal 1, Nick De Vries for Mahindra, along with Nick Cassidy for Citroën. As we come through into the final corner of turn 13, what's the score on the door going to be, and which of the drivers is going to progress forwards and into the duel stages further? It is Nick De Vries. He out-qualifies Nick Cassidy by a tenth of a second. Cassidy pulled it back in that third and final sector, was actually quicker than the Dutch driver, but ultimately De Vries' first and second sector were enough for him to get the advantage. Nico Müller versus Norman Natto here in quarterfinal 2. Second sector, the Frenchman has pulled it back as we ride on board with him down into turn 13.
Oh.
He's deep, he's outbraked himself completely then here and handed the lap and the opportunity into the semi-finals to Nico Müller on a platter. And unfortunately there for Norman Natto, it is not going to be a progression any further here in Miami. Joel Eriksson versus Antonio Felix da Costa for quarter-final 3. Let's see whether da Costa can continue that advantage as he comes to the timing line and takes the checkered flag. He will out-qualify Joel Eriksson and progress forwards into the semi-finals. That's something for Jaguar TCS Racing to smile about after a torrid start to 2026. Da Costa will go head-to-head. Felipe Drugovich and Taylor Barnard head-to-head in quarter-final 4.
Drugovich has got the advantage as we head into the final corner of the lap.
Yeah, so
who's your money on, Tom?
Well, turn 13, Drugovich is deep. He's missed the apex at 13. That might hand a bit more of an advantage back to Taylor Barnard as they come to the line. 1,000th of a second in it. Can you believe it? The Andretti team are literally a stone throw away from our commentary box, and I can hear them from inside here. Felipe Drugovich will go through and into the semi-finals. So let's have a look at the duels ladder then and just remind you how it's all worked out in the quarterfinals. Nick De Vries versus Nick Cassidy, Muller versus Natto, Eriksson versus da Costa, Drugovich versus Barnard. The upshot is semi-final 1 will be between De Vries and Muller. Drugovich and da Costa will go head-to-head in the second of the semi-final. Nick De Vries for Mahindra going up against Nico Müller for Porsche. The Swiss driver in the Porsche. Nick De Vries getting a bit of opposite lock through turn 11. That's going to cost him time all the way down this back straight into the hairpin of turn 13, though. De Vries did have an advantage in the second sector, pulled it back to just 39 thousandths of a second, the deficit between them, so he's catching further still as they come to the line. Is it De Vries or is it Müller that goes through? It's Nico Müller into the fight for pole position. He out-qualifies Nick De Vries by a tenth of a second. That's a phenomenal job from the Swiss driver. Up next, semi-final 2. Who will be joining him? Felipe Drugovich or Antonio Felix da Costa? He comes down in towards the hairpin.
Yeah, it's incredibly close, and Drugovich got a brilliant line through that final corner. That is going to be a strong lap, a 55.39. That is a great lap from Felipe Drugovich, and he's really thrown the gauntlet down. Da Costa, one last corner to make it work, Tom.
Yeah, quickest time we've seen so far in the dual stages. altogether for Felipe Drugovich. Is Da Costa going to be able to respond to that? He's a 10th and a half away as we come to take the checkered flag. He doesn't do it, and Felipe Drugovich goes through and into the fight for pole position here in Miami in Andretti's home race. The rookie is on sensational form in the Sunshine State, and it will be Nico Müller versus Felipe Drugovich in the finals here. As we come across the line, down in towards turn one then for Nico Müller. The nose dives under braking into turn one. Looks like he hooks it up all okay through there, but the proof will be when we come through the first sector. A high 22-second time through sector one is about as good as we should be expecting to see. Drugovich on the right then, Nico Müller on the left. We've slowed these 2 laps down for you, and how is it going to play out between these 2 drivers?
Yeah, see Drugovich there. There's definitely more sort of seesawing action into turn one. But different lines, and Drugovich has gone a bit deep, I think, on the way into 4. That will compromise his exit, and you can see there, he's dropped to 10th.
Yeah, Drugovich then a 10th of a second away from Nico Müller. Needs to have a good middle sector to try and build back that advantage. Müller's car over the curbs and a little bit more nervous, it looks like, from the rear there, but he seems to be keeping on good pace as we come through into turn 11.
Yeah, it kind of swings around a bit through the lap, doesn't it? You see where some drivers are good, not so good. We're now coming into the final corner, Tom, and it's anybody's guess as who's going to be on pole position.
Will it be Müller? Will it be Drugovich? Whatever happens, it'll be a brand new pole sitter in Formula E as we come to the line. Müller versus Drugovich then here in Miami, and it's Nico Müller that takes it by a 10th of a second over Felipe Drugovich. Delight for the Swiss driver in only his 3rd race for the factory Porsche team. A phenomenal effort here in Miami.